There are so many metaverse projects out there, and it kind of leaves you wondering, which one do you join in on? What do I buy NFTs for? Which one do I put my time and effort into? This one is different. ReachMetaverse, instead of just building out their own metaverse and building up community around it, they decided to build up the infrastructure for other metaverse projects. The metaverse of metaverses. That's what they're doing. So if you're a metaverse project out there and you're wondering how on earth you're going to approach this, you need to get all the devs in, you got to do the architecture, servers, and everything else around it. There's a lot to it. You can instead use the cloud services that ReachMetaverse have and are putting together, or actually have put together, and build your metaverse on top of that. Take away all of the infrastructure side of things, so you don't need to worry about the hosting, the scaling of it all. You just need to build your metaverse in their platform and then build your community on top of it. It takes away a huge amount of the effort that you need to actually build these kind of projects. Now in this interview, I have CJ, or more commonly known as Taz. You'll see him on the Discord server as Taz. He joins me to talk all about the platform, the skills, the developers, the team that is behind it all as well, and what they're trying to build out for the community. So let's get into this one.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have CJ joining me on this episode to talk about a metaverse project that looks really, really cool. It looks really polished and really sleek. It's called ReachMetaverse. CJ, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Pete.
So I'd love to learn a little bit more about your background and why you guys chose to build your metaverse on Cardano as well. So CJ, could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
I started off doing a lot of business work. I've bounced around between sectors, doing a little bit of finance, real estate, even worked in IT for a little while. I've loved everything I did that was outside of my realm of study. And eventually that kind of led me around to finding crypto, NFTs, really diving into the market, really enjoyed that. And then I found a friend of mine who was developing some 3D software, some hosting services for virtual experiences. And we kind of took it in the direction of a metaverse and providing the platform and infrastructure to be able to build metaverses easily, share them, be able to experience them just cross-platform. So where we saw a lot of people building to where you could only experience it in their set art style on a browser or in a designated app. We're like, you're building these 3D spaces. It's really cool, but you want to be able to experience them more fully, be able to put on a VR headset, really get in there, kind of turn up the realism a little bit. Or, for people who are super busy, the same way we access the internet on our phones was like, how can you interact with the metaverse on your phone? Can it be the same space that your friend is on their PC, you're in a VR headset, and your buddy who's always traveling hops on their phone, you can all be in the same space. So that's a brief introduction of kind of where I'm at. We chose Cardano really because their approach to the blockchain very much factors into our approach to building, which has been a lot of research, making sure that what we're doing works first before we start putting stuff out, and just really nailing in why we're doing what we're doing. Also, our chief blockchain architect, Shaori, worked a little bit on Cardano's testnet as well as Ethereum's testnet. And he was like, guys, I can spend a whole lot of time talking about this. I can go in great depth, but trust me, you want to go with Cardano here. We took his word for it. We learned the more that we've been in the ecosystem, why he was right, and just loving the journey ever since. Yeah.
All right. I love the approach where you guys are doing that whole platform agnostic approach with the whole metaverse that you're building. And I love that, I can jump on my mobile device and interact with other people in the ecosystem rather than having to go directly on a browser on the desktop or something like that, because my primary device is my mobile phone. That's what I use all the time. And, having to actually jump on a desktop to interact with other people in the metaverse, it's like, it just doesn't really work with me. So I absolutely love that approach. And it sounds like you're doing a lot of the infrastructure stuff, the code, the SDKs, the software development kits for it as well. So that's really interesting. Whereas other projects are just building the metaverse and getting people to join in. You guys are building some tooling and stuff around it to let other developers build into it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is. So the reason why becomes a little bit clear once we dive in a little bit to the history of how things started. So our founder, Paisel, had worked with our chief architect, Solomon, for a while beforehand. They'd worked on some other engineering projects, and they started building the core engine of Reach 2 to 3 years ago. And it started in a very different place than where it is now, in sharing 3D engineering files. And as they kept adding features to it, building onto it, building out more functionality, it got to a point where they realized that you can basically have one person upload the thing and multiple people be interacting in the same shared location or experiencing the same shared 3D asset, which then kind of took it to the next level of, okay, well, how can we capture the data that we have in this place? And they started working on the core actual engine to house everything and the data behind all of that, which eventually morphed into the company of Vera Medical, which is a side company. I won't go too deeply into that. It's a different project, but basically allowing for physical therapy to be done virtually. So you can put on a headset, you go through, do your virtual reality training, and you have your physical therapist could be in a completely different location on a tablet or on their phone, seeing you in this space, getting the data, being able to see, oh, their left arm doesn't have as much range of motion. There's a process called inverse kinematics, really cool if you're into that field. But you're able to do that and kind of taking from that point of where the engine was and going, okay, there are a few tweaks we can make. We can optimize this for larger amounts of people, for being able to experience more things, being able to kind of purchase and have more interaction within that space, and moving it into becoming a metaverse. That's where Shaori comes in. He had been doing some work with Pay as well, pulled him in on the NFT side, bringing in some of his expertise on that, and really going, okay, well, what do we need to have a transaction system? If we have users in here, we have user accounts, let's tie in somebody's wallet. And then if they have an NFT, can we tie in some functionality in that NFT actually in the space? So that's kind of where it started evolving and developing. And now we went from that core Reach app to Solomon's developed the Reach engine, the second edition of it, which is tooled specifically for a metaverse project, building and having more of that infrastructure in place, having more, there's a word for it and it's escaping me, player data, basically. So with user accounts, you're able to have people's like speed, their strength, have player statistics. So in-game currency, say somebody wanted to build a world that had an in-game currency, they could do so. And have that be a separate system tied to NFTs and crypto and blockchain if they desire, or not, and have it just be a standalone, almost 3D game engine as they would normally. We use the Unity engine to build everything that we build, and the SDK is powered through that. So that's kind of how we got to having the full metaverse and the tools. So a user or a project could come in and talk to us, and we have a few projects doing some private beta work, building their projects and developing their own meta spaces. It's kind of the term we've coined of an individual space that's created and connected to other things, and able to have multiple people in it, have the functionality, but it's really easy to build and just connect to. And then you can connect that to other worlds. So for example, the metaverse that we've built kind of as a flagship project, the ReachMetaverse, you can tie in some of those spaces. So in land, when we eventually sell land, you could tie that to your project's metaspace, and you have a headquarters on our continent that takes users all the way to your full experience in your space.
That's so interesting. Like, I didn't realize you guys were doing that. I saw something on the website about, cloud hosting for metaverse spaces. Is that what that ties into?
Yes, so, that's exactly right.
Okay. So me as a project that's
coming up with a new metaverse or like, virtual podcasting experience or something. So, we're doing an interaction here. I could create that metaverse where people can come in and experience it all in the metaverse with the interviews and stuff or whatever it comes up with. And then you guys host that entire platform. I just build what needs to be built and hey presto, it's created.
Exactly. Yeah.
With a bit more work, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the strain out of building a metaverse. So it's kind of like the early days of the internet when there were a lot of web service providers. So the easiest one, it's the most common name that I know of is Wix, where you can have an easy builder for a website. Our goal is to be that for the metaverse. So you can come in, and build an easy space and throw it together and host it. And there's a free service of a certain amount of storage space and a certain amount of spaces you can connect. Or if you're a project or a business and you want the enterprise level and you're going to connect hundreds of spaces and build this full experience and have a transaction system within your world, you can do that as well.
That is amazing. That's really, really cool. It's completely different approach to what everyone else seems to be doing at the moment. So you mentioned a couple of the team members on this, and I read through the profiles and bios, and they've got some really interesting work history and other projects and games that they've worked on as well. Can you talk a little bit about the rest of the team, some highlights of their past experiences as well?
So our founder, Paisal, he actually previously worked in R&D in an engineering capacity, worked at in a French firm for a while, worked at Stratocast, doing some developing in a corporate, kind of climbing the corporate ladder. And then he very much has an entrepreneur spirit, always coming up with some of the great ideas of what if we add this or what if we did this too? And really just has a passion for adding value to his platform and bringing more to the users. So a lot of the ideas coming out of this are a lot of things that Pay's been like, I don't know if we can, but what if? And I love that about him. It just brings such fresh creativity to the project. And he's really built that up. He's built actually a couple other companies in his time, as Vera Medical is one of them. I kind of mentioned that briefly earlier. Based off his last name, Vera Kitty. So he's really been developing a lot of this stuff. He also is a wizard at creating things in Unity. He can build out some of the scenes. Everything you've seen pretty much in Reach, he's built. And a lot of it, you would be floored if you knew how little time it actually took him to build it. And part of that is a testament to his skill, but part of that is also a testament to how easy it is to build a lot of these spaces in Reach. We only have one 3D developer, really, who's been doing this. There's one district that was built by another developer, and she's done some great stuff. But a majority of the stuff that's built on Reach has been built by one guy.
I've seen the demo videos, and it looks absolutely amazing. Like the rocket ship and the car racing that's integrated in there. It looks really slick.
It is, and part of it, the car racing, is kind of similar to GTA 5's. And I say that because Solomon, who's our chief architect and head of all the stuff that we've been building software-wise, created the entire engine, actually built some of the most popular mods on GTA 5. I think some of those are mentioned in his bio. And we routinely have people hopping into our Discord like, hey, do you guys are you guys the people who built that one mod, the Quicksilver mod or the zombies one or this one or that one? And Solomon was just like, yeah, that's me. They kind of follow around. But his expertise in that area is bar none. It's great. It's just the user experience, the ease of, hey, Solomon, how hard is it to do that? He's like, well, it's kind of difficult because of this and this and this. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll think about that for like a couple months down the road. And 2 days later, he's like, yeah, so I built that thing you were talking about. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, I guess we have this now, which has been fantastic. So like the driving system and all of those things has been really cool.
That all comes with years of experience, though, to be able to click your fingers and create something like that. It takes years of experience and knowledge to be able to actually build that. So that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
He's been coding since he was like 12. Like he breathes C+ and C++. He's a genius. And he's so humble about it too. So he's probably going to get a little embarrassed. I'm talking about him this much, but he's so humble about all of it. And then Shaori is our lead blockchain architect. He's worked a little bit with Cardano's testnet, Ethereum's testnet. He's built our transaction system, the wallet verification for our marketplace where you can purchase our condos and eventually where you can purchase our land. He built that whole system out. He also dabbles a little bit into AI, which is cool. Plan to have a little bit of that implemented in our world later on. But he kind of fills in a lot of the gaps, which has been really nice. He's really smart in a lot of those areas and has just been plugged into the NFT and crypto community for the past years, which is really good. He has a solid expertise in that area that, while I have spent a good amount of time delving deep into it, I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this project really cool. Oh yeah, I remember when that one was started. It does such and such and such. I'm like, okay, cool. I found a cool one, but he already knew about it, which is really fun.
Absolutely brilliant. So now you guys have a whole bunch of things in place already. Like I saw an NFT marketplace where you can buy apartments or condos at the moment, and I'm assuming they're for the metaverse. And is that how people can interact with it at the moment, or have you guys got an actual launch product as well?
Yeah, so we currently have a few districts that are live. Our metaverse is fully live. There's definitely more coming and more developed. And we did move our land sale. Originally, it was going to be starting up soon and releasing publicly on June 30th, but we decided to push it back a little bit to kind of focus on a few of the key pieces. And the reason is Solomon finished up our second engine a little bit faster than we expected, and we were like, well, we can put everything out kind of as it is now, and then let people know that it's going to be transitioning over, or we can just push it back a month or two and then release it with the new engine. So we decided to go with that just to provide the best experience. We don't want to put somebody in something, give them little hiccups as we're transitioning. So
What's better about that second engine? Like, is it better graphics, better performance? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, so a little bit on that. It is going to run a little bit smoother. There's going to be better loading times, is one of the big things, as well as for people who are going to be building in it. And since we knew we were going to update it, our actual in-world building system is going to be improved, because currently the building system is a little bit glitchy, if I'm honest. And that's partly because it's just been in development, and this whole Reach initial engine has been something we've just been adding features to, and just kind of really building it out to get all the pieces we wanted. And now we're taking that kind of construction, polishing it up, smoothing it down, building it so that as we add developers, they can add their code and build it out a lot more efficiently. So it's really it's going to be more efficient in two ways. One, for users, it'll be a little bit smoother. Loading times will be down. Your interactions with people and with objects in the game are just going to be a little bit smoother. You might not even notice it, but on the back end, it's running way more efficiently, and it's also set to be able to scale and grow at a way faster rate.
Absolutely brilliant. So we can actually interact with environments. At the moment, we can buy these NFTs. I think I interrupted you a little bit earlier about that, but we can actually buy some of these NFT condos now. And can that be interacted with the metaverse at the moment as well?
Mm-hmm. So cool. The way we currently have it, you can have your Reach account, set it up. You can link a Cardano wallet, Yoroi, Daedalus, and so on. And you're able to have that NFT of the condo you purchase in your account. And then when you go they're currently housed in District 1. So if you go into District 1, there are 15 condo buildings surrounding the district. You can walk around, you walk into the lobby, go to the elevator, go up just like you would a normal apartment building. And then each floor has 5 condos. And if you go to the floor that your condo's at, you can walk up to the door and enter it. If you go to any of the other doors, it's going to show a locked symbol on it, and you will not be able to enter that space. The doors actually show the policy ID of the NFT that is linked to them on the side of the door. And if you own those condos, you can go into those spaces. You can walk into that room. You're actually able to share the link to that room to your friends. And they can join you in that space, even though they wouldn't be able to walk through the front door. As long as you give them the link, they're able to hop in. That feature is currently only available on browser. We are working on some of the deep linking so that if you follow the link and you have the app downloaded, it will open it in the app.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things where it's actually using real functionality of NFTs, not just NFTs for pictures or so on and so forth, but there's actual functionality of using them almost as a pass key to be able to get into your space. Exactly.
Yep.
So, and the other fun thing is the actual space of the condos is relative to where it actually is in the building. So if you're on the first floor, you're seeing a first floor view out your window. If you're on the 12th floor, you're seeing a 12th floor view of the district, which is a fun feature as well.
Gotcha. How much are these NFTs going for?
So they're at a tiered system. They started off at 50 ADA, and then every 100 that are sold, it goes up by 5. So there are currently 350 roughly that are sold. So there's still 550 that are still available.
Yeah.
So their price is still set to increase by another about 25 ADA, 30. So you're still able to get in and get them if you want. Reach market.ReachMetaverse or marketplace.ReachMetaverse. So
brilliant. Yeah. Okay. So now we know how users can participate and enter into the metaverse, the flagship metaverse that you guys are building. Mm-hmm. What about projects that are wanting to build on your platform as well now? How do they get into contact with you guys and start building something?
Yeah. So if you are on our website, down at the bottom of the website, there is a box and it has different ways that you can reach out to us. It has whether you're a marketing contact, whether you're a project that's looking for partnership, that gets sent to our emails. We check that regularly and we'll reach out to you about getting on our private SDK. In the next quarter, we're planning on releasing a beta version of our Metaverse builder in the app. So anybody could build their own space. So basically, like I said earlier, like Wix, anybody can build a website.
Incredible. Yeah.
But if you want to do like some of the transaction system, or you have something that you want to build in Unity and straight upload, that would be something you're going to want to reach out to us. We'll discuss. We have a couple of projects that are either building or currently talking to us about building their projects into the metaverse. And the nice thing is, if it's your project and you want a metaverse for your project, you can build your project and it is your metaverse. It is just powered by Reach. So when people load in, they see the little Reach logo on the side, but it's your metaverse, it's your space. You can determine the artistic design while you're in there. You're not siloed to a certain style. So you can build it to be gaming. You can build it to be super realistic. Granted, I will say caveat on the super realistic. You have to keep in mind what PCs and phones can reasonably support. Otherwise, you'll run into issues. But actually on that, one of the cool things that Solomon built in is the engine can actually tell what device you're accessing from and caters the graphics to what you can handle. So if you are on PC and you have the app downloaded, you'll have the highest fidelity graphics, 4K, ray tracing. It looks gorgeous. If you're on the browser, it's going to dumb it down just a little bit, maybe not have as much lighting baked in, because most browsers cannot hold and contain that much processing power. And then phones, it's going to be optimized for phones. And then in VR headsets, it's a different feel as well. And that is hyper immersive in the right scenes.
Looks like I have to get a VR headset to really experience what you guys are doing. So I can see how you guys are potentially monetizing this product and, funding yourselves. So you've got the cloud hosting services for anyone that's building their own metaverse. So that completely makes sense. Are there other revenue streams for you guys to continually develop and build out this project?
Mm-hmm. So part of it is NFT sales. As we sell land, almost all of that funding is going straight back into getting more developers, building out the world, building out that specific project in and of itself, and then providing more features for people to use. We are currently in Genius Yield's accelerator program, Genius X. Great project. Absolutely love everything they're doing. Their accelerator program is fantastic, getting us connected to a lot of resources. And then we're going to be doing a token launch, and we're also going to be doing one of their cool things, which is the ISPO, and doing stake pool offering for our tokens. So that's something that we're going to be able to allow anybody to get in early in the project and early tokens on. And obviously we will be announcing that as soon as the actual dates are set and the token quantities are out. That's going to be a main source of our funding, doing that, looking for early investors from like the whole qualified investors in VC space.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's a majority of where our funding is going to be coming from. So yeah.
It's always important to make sure that funding's in place so that, if we as users are jumping onto the metaverse and investing our time in it, we know that the project's going to stick around. So it's always good to know where that funding's coming in.
And another thing, we actually have a few corporate partners that are also building on our platform. So we have projects such as VR Cure, which is surgical training. The company I mentioned earlier, Vera Medical, and its physical therapy is being used by a few hospitals down in Florida, and they're adding on more of their services that are using that's hosted on the same servers. So our servers are going to be up. So even if things aren't growing as fast as we'd like in this crypto winter, we can definitely feel it. But we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, you're tapping into different industries using your platform. So, they're paying with the fiat currencies, I'm assuming. You guys can operate. So that's absolutely brilliant. And you mentioned also the ISPOs, the initial stake pool offerings. Everyone in the Cardano ecosystem loves them. They're quite easy to participate in. Delegate a wallet, and hey presto, you get some tokens at a later date. So absolutely brilliant. So where can people start now? Where do we reach out? Where do we go? Where do we download the app to start playing around with? Where do we start?
Absolutely. Yeah. So our website has everything and will direct you to wherever you need to go. And a lot of things will direct you back to the website as well. So our website is ReachMetaverse.org. Excuse me. Our website, like I said, is ReachMetaverse.org. There are links to join our Discord server. Information is in there and updated relatively often. All the information for downloads is also on the website. You can download it, the actual app itself on itch.io. And then you're able to open it up. itch.io will constantly update it for you if you install their browser. So as we're pushing updates, that's also one of the other benefits of Reach 2 that I forgot to mention, is you will not have to keep updating. So we'll be able to actually push out the app itself, and then updates will be done in the back end, which will make it a lot easier for users. But that the website has the information. Our Twitter, we post things. We try to post every day, or at least 5 times a week, with information about Metaverses, information about our project, our team, some fun stuff that's going on, and then also our YouTube channel has some shorts and some quality content of what the life in the Metaverse is looking like, and kind of what we're building. So
I highly recommend the YouTube channel. I have been browsing through it, so it looks absolutely amazing what you guys are doing. CJ, thank you for joining me on the podcast. It's amazing what you guys are building, the whole platform there for others to actually build a metaverse. Absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to the development of this and seeing where the project goes. Thank
you very much. I look forward to seeing you in there.
Awesome. Thanks, CJ.
Now, if you're a metaverse project out there that are building at the moment and you're gone into some stumbling blocks in some of this infrastructure architecture and trying to scale things up, contact the team at ReachMetaverse. Or if you're just interested in checking it out, you can download their platform for free, sign up for an account, and try it out yourself. It is pretty impressive what they've put together. I played around with it for a couple of hours and it's quite interesting, and the immersiveness of the metaverse is really cool. All the links to it down below for you. You can check it out on our website at learncardano.io/EP054, episode 54 for this one. Now, if you really enjoyed this type of content, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback as well. I'd love to hear from the community, from you guys, so that we know exactly how we're going with the whole podcast, the whole platform, and everything else around it. But if you enjoyed it, thumbs up, click subscribe, notification bell, and you hear me in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating.